Good morning, folks. So today is all about this lens here. So this is the Nikon 24 to 120 Z lens, and it is a fantastic lens, and this is why I think it is, in my opinion, the best mid-range zoom that money can buy. It's got a fantastic focal range. It's got amazing build quality. It's weather sealed. It's got a brilliant filter size. There is so much about it that is really, really brilliant. And the image quality is the number one thing, and it is absolutely fantastic. So in this video, we're going to get into it. Okay, so build quality. First of all, it's 630 grams, which is really light for a lens that goes over 100 mil. It is weather sealed, which is absolutely fantastic. It's got a 77 mil filter thread, which is brilliant. So you can use it on Lee filter adapters. You can use it. I've got a little UV filter at the moment. 77 mil is a really common thread for all different types of filters. So the only thing that could be a criticism that some people don't like is this extending barrel, but that's how you get the weight down. If this wasn't extending and it was internally zooming, then obviously it would carry more weight. So the other aspects of it, it's got a brass mount. This part is all metal, and it's beautifully manufactured, and then you've got really, really good high-grade quality plastics. Now, my one massive complaint about this lens, and most Nikon lenses to be honest, especially the Z range, are these really annoying, really badly made lens hoods. Now these things are plasticky, they're not nice to touch, and they're a bit crappily built. Nikon, please can you sort this out? Because your lens hoods from the 80s and 90s were gorgeous. They had little clicky buttons on them, the plastic was about 5 times heavier, and basically they were way, way better. But this is my main complaint about nearly all Nikon Z-mount lenses and all new Nikon lenses. These are rubbish. Sort it out, Nikon. Anyway, apart from that, the lens itself is the best lens I've ever used. So, clicking it on is even unpleasing for a lens like this. Right, so the last time I was here, I did a lens review of the 24 to 200s, and I'll put that up in a link in the description above now. So there's the build quality. Okay, so we're going to talk about the functions on the camera lens itself. So first of all, you've got this well dampened zoom ring that's going from 120 mils down to 24 millimeters. Then you've got the function button. Now this is customizable. I use this to check my focus, so just press it once to check the focus, press it again to zoom out again. Then you've got the focus ring. Now when you're doing manual focus, I really like the fact it's got an auto and manual switch on it. Manual focus is really, really well dampened, and using focus peaking, it works really, really well. The focus throw on the lens is really accurate and really good. And then lastly, we've got this accessory ring here. Now this accessory ring is excellent. I use it for aperture, but you can use it for multiple functions, and it's just a really, really quick change to change the aperture in any one direction. This is very well dampened as well. Some people talk about the fact that you can accidentally jog your aperture and move it. I don't find that's the case at all, because it's back here. I think if the accessory ring was here, I'd definitely be jogging it. But because I'm mainly holding the camera like this, your hand sits here, enables you to zoom and focus. You don't really jog this, you just go back to use the function button. So I think ergonomically, this lens is really, really well thought out. So folks, video. So the video quality of this lens is fantastic. The focus and using manual focus on it is a joy for video. Also the zoom's well dampened, so I mean you can get a good focus throw and really, really, really smoothly zoom in and zoom out. And I'll show you some sample video footage with it.
So the lens zooms in quite smoothly. The lens focus ring and its zoom ring are quite well dampened. It can sometimes lose control of what it's focusing on, but generally it's very reliable and works very well.
So there are many useful focal ranges of this lens. Now, when I did this last time with the 24 to 200, it's really, really lovely to just have an idea of what that's like. So first of all, I've just got this set up on 24 mils. Just take a quick bracketed shot, and then I'm going to zoom in to often used focal length of 50 mil, and then again an often used focal length of around about 90 mil, and finally 120. I just need to reframe this slightly. And as you can see from the images, you get real versatility. Now, because this lens's image quality is so good, you can also crop into it and take out about half of the image, and you will still get a fantastic image. More about image quality later. Hello, so now we're going to talk about image quality. So the image quality of this thing is fantastic. Nearly every lens I've used, like the 24 to 200 for instance, is a classic example. It's absolutely brilliant lens, but it has weak points. So it has a weak point at 24 mil where the edges go slightly off. It has another weak point at around 200 where sometimes the sharpness isn't quite there. What's great about this is it allows more workflow for the user, because the image quality, I feel, is good throughout the f-stop range and throughout the zoom range. So I don't really feel like there's anywhere where it has a weak point. It has distortion. So on 24 mil to 30 mil, it has barrel distortion, and from about 100 to 120, it has quite bad pincushion distortion. But that can be resolved by just using in-camera corrections. So you don't need to worry about that much unless you're particularly concerned about that. But you can always correct it on Lightroom if you don't want to do it in camera. The in-camera corrections do a really, really good job. So, my niggle about this camera lens, and the thing that really irritates me, and the thing that some people have mentioned, which I really wasn't like any other lens I've used, this is the only lens that does it, is this: skies. If you focus, especially at 120 on infinity in skies, it quite often hunts for focus, and more often than not, it doesn't actually focus at all and takes a completely out of focus shot. Now, for the amount of money that this lens costs, that's kind of irritating. And it's the first time I've had a lens that does this. So if you're focusing on something that's focusable, something that, you know, a building, land, trees, it's absolutely bang on all the time. It's beautiful for that. But if you're focusing into the far distance, it often hunts for focus. Now I'm going to see if it will do it. I'm going to see if I can kind of demonstrate this quickly by taking a shot of just... It just focused. I mean, what can I say? Let's try it again. Okay, I'm gonna get this camera on the run. I'm gonna get it to a point where it's not focusing. But there we go. It's done it again. Okay, it's just taken 3 out of focus photographs. Now that's just a bit crap for the amount of money the lens costs. However, apart from that, unless you want to take loads of pictures, abstract pictures of the sky, you will be absolutely loving this camera. Now the only other slight little quibble I've got with it sometimes is I have seen photographing the midday, photographing at an angle to the sun. I've seen a little bit of ghosting on the lens as well. You do sometimes get a little bit of flare or ghosting. and that can produce a little bit of a problem with contrast. You don't get bad lens flares, but you do get quite a lot of kind of lack of contrast. Apart from those two little niggles, I feel it is the best value mid-range zoom I've ever used. Now, you can pick one up now for they're roughly about 800 quid used. And I think that although that is a lot of money, it's a lens that I don't feel has any substantial weaknesses at any focal points. It's f4 all the way through, so you can use it in low light conditions without having to crank your ISO too high. It's incredibly tough. You can take it out in all weather conditions. I've got this thing soaking, I've got snow on it, I've got ice on it, and it has always worked, and it's never let me down. So if you're looking for a lens which is full frame, a lens which you very rarely need to take off your camera because it has such a good range in terms of focal length, then this is the one that I would definitely go for.